So I'm really, really delighted that you are joining us, Rickard, from the company dLab. Now we have learned a lot about measuring data, about communicating it, and you told me yesterday over dinner that what you are doing is actually grid monitoring. Can you explain us a little bit why this is necessary, why this is important?
I would turn around. Why isn't it necessary?
Okay.
I mean, today in the green transition that we're in, I mean, the power grid is really in the epicenter of this green energy transition, making it possible. Adding more EVs, adding more renewable energy sources, micro-production, big thing also here in Germany.
Yeah.
All this, of course, puts a lot more stress on the power grid than earlier days when we maybe had a big generating source and we had power grid and consuming it. And now everything is going back and forth in a way that it didn't used to before.
Okay, we need to be able to switch on and off the participants of the grid intelligently. And now I think your basic value proposition, which you make to your customers, is that with your software, the uptime of a grid is increased. How you do that?
So by measuring with high resolution, we find small anomalies, small things that are going wrong or about to go wrong on the power grid.
Okay.
So we can find the small deviations, alerting the customer that something is about to go wrong.
Yeah.
They can rectify it before they have an outage. Typically failing components, vegetation, etc.
Yeah. Yesterday you told me about a project in Finland, and when I think about Finland, I think it's huge, and that put things really into perspective for me. Maybe you could talk about a little bit about that again.
Yes, of course. I mean, it's long distances, a lot of cables. So in this case, it was in the western part of Finland, and where we were able to measure and identify a problem before the customer even knew about it. So in this case, it was a faulty switch disconnector out in the grid, so that was malfunctioning. And hadn't we found it and hadn't they exchanged it before, they would have had an outage, would have cost, power outage for about 1,000 customers. And a lot of faulty equipment in the grid, which would have led to a lot of extra costs for the customer in this case.
Yeah, it's really, really a completely different sport if you exchange a malfunctional component in an electrical grid. So when we are in classical machine automation, a drive fails, you go into the cabinet, open the cabinet, exchange the drive, half an hour later or 10 minutes later, you are good to go again. If you have to take the car for 5 hours, that's a different story.
It is.
So a lot of measurement points enable you to do some kind of predictive maintenance, give you a lot of insights, so you have a big, powerful grid brain with your software. We always like to compare everything to mammals when it comes to automation. How do we actually feed your brain?
So in our system, the CX from Beckhoff is the heart of it, which is then collecting data from all the outgoing feeders, all the outgoing cables, in primarily the primary substations, measuring also voltages and other key components, and then we do this more than 20,000 times a second, compiling all this data locally, shipping it off to the cloud, and there we do analysis, and then we present to the customer what we call actionable data.
Yeah.
So data that they can take action on, be proactive, and actually avoid outages, and also do load flow analysis and load forecasting, etc.
Okay, a lot of many distributed data gathering agents all around the grid.
Exactly.
May I ask you, why did you actually go with Beckhoff Automation for that task?
So we realized early on that we are a software company, and we are fairly good at doing that, developing software, doing the analytics, doing the presentation, but hardware is not our thing. And there are very good companies out there, such as Beckhoff, who have very good hardware. They make sure that it's always up to standard, always up to par, they always meet the requirements. They take the product management responsibility, and that's something that we can leave out and focus on our core business, which is the analysis and the software and the actionable data that we can present to our customers. So it's quite cool actually that we've been working together since 2013, and during those years we have done thousands of installations and measurement points and not one single failure in all that time. So great job by you guys.
I'm pretty sure that will go down, especially Fabian's throat, like warm milk with honey.
I hope so.
Thank you very much, Rickard. I know that you're also meeting some customers here in Hannover, so it really is an international trade show. Good luck for that, and see you later. Probably at the booth party, right?
I will. Thanks for having me.
See you.